Welcome back once more, boys and girls. Game 3, the ace match of Power Rangers and Hellraisers, now underway. Again, this is the winner bracket finals. Winner of this will move on to the grand finals with a one-game advantage in the best of 5 to fight for that one seat in the main event of DAC, the Dota 2 Asian Championships. Loser here will move down to the lower bracket finals. Both these teams will still be making it to the event, at least in the wild card, but a lot on the line here. Mr. Merlini, Power Rangers taking game 1. That last match, a little interesting, a little throwy there at the end perhaps, but it all comes down to this last best one.
It wasn't throwy.
It was a little throwy.
They were just
like
making risky plays, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I think throwing is like where you go for low.
Okay, the last fight when PR died and they got picked apart, you wouldn't call that a throw? What was the risk that they were taking there?
They almost killed Doom.
The cheese, right? Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right.
Throwy is high risk, low reward plays. It was high risk, high reward plays. They're going to push to end the game.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I forgot it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If Doom hadn't eaten the cheese, that probably would have gone the other way.
Yeah, if Doom hadn't eaten the cheese, they wouldn't have killed Medusa. They would have gotten the racks. She would have went back and healed, and they have to deal with another one of her life pools.
Yeah. So no, you're right. Actually, okay, I take that back. It was not so much a throw of Power Rangers, but
it was a very close game, and
very good.
Had they not killed the Deuce, I mean, even if they hadn't killed the Deuce there, I still think they would have won. But if Doom weren't alive and it was a 2v4 instead of 2v5, it would have been a much different end, and it would have lasted a little bit longer. Anyways, moving on to this draft, Juggernaut banned yet again. Power Rangers do not want to deal with the Wisp, and we'll just straight ban it out in the first phase. Hellraisers banning out some of the team fighters that they've had troubles with. Faces Void from the first game, Tide Hunter in the second game. Power Rangers going again with the puck.
But here's a very interesting and risky pick for Hellraisers. Second pick, Storm Spirit. A hero, certainly not without counters. They'll ban out the Disruptor, the hero that gave HR a lot of trouble in Game 1, and also very, very good against the Storm Spirit. I don't know, what do you think about the second pick, Storm?
It's easily dealt with some supports, like Disruptor, but Disruptor has been banned out, and Power Rangers tend to not play super aggressively in the early game. I think they generally tend to react a little bit more and stack.
They're one of those teams that tends to look for that blink dagger timing. The first 10, 15 minutes, they kind of farm around and look for that initiator to start moving, whether it's like a Stark with a Shadow Blade, off-lane puck with a blink dagger.
I think it can be punished, though, especially if they go for like a Nature's Prophet off-lane, which Cheshire Cat turns to sometimes. But they definitely need an aggressive second support if they want to shut down a Storm Spirit early, which would be... I'm trying to think of ones that are aggressive. Skywrath and Lion come to mind as the best ones to deal with them with a very long duration disable. But then again, they do have the Vengeful Spirit swap, and Hellraisers, on the other hand, generally look to play a slightly more aggressive early game, unless they have the Wisp, and they tend to stack up and wait for 6 to play aggressively. But, I mean, with the Axe, just straight out of the gate, playing balls to the wall in the bottom lane, they're in it to win it in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, PR thinking hard about this fourth ban. They've already taken out the Axe, and here they will ban out Spectre and Drow Ranger right away.
Radiant team pick.
Drow Ranger has been banned out in the second phase a lot of the time, and I think that this is going to be pretty nice for Power Rangers because Hellraisers typically do not draft the big team fighters. They typically do not draft heavy anti-push, and also the Gust will just destroy the Storm Spirit. And Hellraisers immediately respond with a Visage pick. More likely a deny pick than not, but still a decent hero in this particular game. Adds a lot of physical damage, some nice lane control, can play aggressively with the Vengeful Spirit as well, but doesn't really work that well against a puck on the bottom lane aside from zoning purposes.
Yeah. Visage is kind of an odd support right now. He has really fallen out of favor after... getting nerfed time and time again. We still see that Drow Visage pop up here and there, but just a straight Visage with no Drow, is that...
It's definitely playable.
Still, well, playable is... He's not that bad. He's not a dumpster hero or anything, but...
He's a good support on his own, and he denies it. They deny it from Power Rangers. So yeah. I think it's a pretty good pick here.
Okay. Well, either way, PR move into the Invoker with their fourth rather. So
Cold Snap really good against Storm Spirit. He has sufficiently long cast animation to get stunned by it, stun locked by it rather, and on top of that, it's a hero that can either go very aggressively with an Orchid Quas Wex build early game to deal with the Storm Spirit, or he can go 4 Spirits, another range unit summon to benefit from the Precision Aura, and just push them down. And Hellraisers still not too much anti-push or wave clear, and Power Rangers could look to just sweep all the T1 downs pretty darn early. Darkseer,
10 seconds remaining.
I really haven't seen him do that much in the past 3 or 4 games that I've seen him picked.
Yeah.
And not exactly sure what it is about the hero that leads him to just not perform well.
You mean HR in general, or just Darkseer in general?
Darkseer in general.
Yeah, I mean, against the Drill Ranger, the Surge is kind of cool to let somebody get up there and try and break the marksmanship. That's like cute, but not really
Storm
that
can
amazing.
already do it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Storm's there. The Wall of Replica could be okay here. Steal some of the auras. If Drill walks through the wall, you get the Precision Aura, right? Is that does your team get that?
You get most auras. I'm not sure about Precision Aura, though.
That one's a little different. Don't see Dro Darkseer all that much.
Radiant team.
So I'm sort of just theory crafting reasons why they would pick a Darkseer here, because right now I am not seeing the synergy for Hellraisers. Skywrath, the final pick for PR, though. That'll be their second support, and some more magic damage. This screams pipe to me for Hellraisers, man. Look at all that magic damage.
Well, Darkseers typically don't rush pipe, and
not rush it, but
they
pipe.
Well, it's just difficult for them to build it this game. So
yeah, maybe we'll see a Midas Darkseer.
I mean, I think that Power Rangers has a fantastic draft versus the Hellraisers draft right now. I think that it's
still
a couple steps above.
Yeah, Lycan last pick. I mean, Lycan's cool, but is he really going to be able to do the dirty? Is he going to be able to split push and knock these towers down?
Well, he's good versus Drow.
Yeah. I mean, he is, but
they have good ways to control him, though.
Exactly.
Puck Coil,
very isolated.
Cold Snap, Deafening Blast, these are all pretty good. I mean, even a Grave is decent.
So now they've got 3 pieces of silence against this Storm Spirit, Puck, Dro, and the Skywrath.
It's not only Storm Spirit, it's a Darkseer, too. If Skywrath can get an early zone out on Darkseer and he can't hit level 2 early, that's going to lead to a T1 tower falling down very, very quickly if he has to transition into the jungle early. And, I mean, even if he does get level 2, he can still die even with the Skywrath Silence plus a Drow Slow. So this is not an easy game for a Darkseer, and I'm curious to see if they can make some usage out of his skills. Ion Shell plus Lycan could potentially do a lot of damage. I mean, of course, as you said, the surge on the Frost Arrows and Conch Shot is going to be pretty darn important, and later with the Wall of Replica, but not really too much to combo with. No Sand King Stun, no like Earthshaker Ravage, no Requiem of Souls that you'll typically see, although there is some minor synergy with the Visage Familiar drop and the Darkseer Vacuum.
So some initial wards come down, neither side going to invade or do anything too cheeky with their sentries or observers.
Something cool that I've seen actually with Darkseer and Lycan is invising, or the invis wolves having Ion Shell and just harassing supports.
Oh, that's cool.
That is something that is very, very useful. But
supports already have enough issue dealing with the Lycan wolves, so
yes.
that is a lot of damage.
But PR actually has a lot of physical damage, especially with Drow right click and Precision Aura to actually kill those wolves fairly quickly.
Yep. Okie dokie. So again, folks, game 3, it's all on the line here. No one's getting eliminated, but this is a match you certainly want to win. After DJ gets the bottom bounty rune, and J4 will grab it on the Skywrath Mage. Let's see how these lanes will settle down. For the Radiant, it will be HR. Arts will go solo, or not, what am I talking about? Safe lane on the Lycan. Got him on the Visage, will be supporting him here. Afin Ninja on the Storm will head to the mid lane. Dread takes the Vengeful Spirit, and there's Gorek on little Ishkafel, the Dark Seer. Dire side, we've got the Power Rangers. They're mighty and they're morphin'. Can they do it? Cheshire Cat playing Puck once more. J4 will be on the Skywrath Mage. Ditya Ra mid on the Invoker. First point in Quas with a null tally. That puts Seneko on the Shadow Priest Dazzle. And Shotchlo will go safe lane Drow Ranger with this really weird looking helmet she's got here. I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing, but she looks like...
oh yeah, I highly dislike that.
That is a weird looking cosmetic, man. I don't know what to make of that.
My immersion. So Gorek will be level 1.5 because Skywrath is on bottom. I'm actually curious to know why they decided to put the Dazzle on top versus Gorik as opposed to Skywrath. Skywrath, I mean, he has, I think, slightly better right clicks in the off lane, but at the same time, I think Skywrath is much better at zoning out Darkseer than Soniko is, and Gorik actually playing very aggressively, surging into Soniko right now.
This not going to yield a kill. Soniko eats a tree and gets into Fog here, hits him with a poison touch, and will give him a taste of his own medicine as he harasses back the Darkseer. He's got a stout shield, so...
But he has hit that highly coveted level 2. And on the bottom lane, Cheshire Cat trying to interrupt the...
Yeah, PR did get a ward victory down bottom. There was a lane ward down through this sentry and countered it. So Radiant only have one observer down. No vision of the runes, though. They didn't anyway. 2-minute rune going to come out, and PR will go to it. They stay committed to this 2-1-2, it seems like, and leave J4 down bottom to try and get something for Cheshire Cat. There will be a battle about this bottom rune. Cheshire Cat orbs defensively, jaunts right into Roche. A double damage spawns right in the mix. First blood is drawn as they kill the Skywrath, and now Cheshire Cat, isolated, will go down to boot. A fast 2-0, and HR coming out on top.
Drow Aura not as good as Howl in this early game. Very great Howl usage by Arts there to secure those 2 kills. And also, I mean, PR is just not in a great position there. They don't have the high ground advantage, and sure, they have some fog advantage with the...
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, wow, nice pick off there from Soniko. Looks like the courier was holding a bottle. Yep,
well
sure
played.
Was. Yeah, nice pick there. Gives PR a sign of life, as now Ninja is stuck without a bottle for 3 minutes. But yeah, Puck Skywrath just not really able to do as much in that little fight there when you've got a Venge with the stun and no aura yet, but still.
If Puck were level 2 maybe,
yeah.
But he was level 1 at that point, and having to use your orb defensively and...
Yeah. And also the position where as soon as he jaunted, he got bashed by Roche, so it's like, just rough all around. Ura will be going Quast Wex on this Invoker mid. And moving into the fast phase boots, but PR getting that tempo controlling going on. And here we go, we'll see it. EMP Tornado with a cold snap onto Ninja. And I don't think the Storm will survive this one. Not level 6, so can't zip. Gotham comes in and they won't pursue it. Wow, he lives with about 50 hit points. Okay, the TP from the Visage. Well played by Gotham, keeps the Storm alive. I thought they had that one for sure.
He had 47 HP left. I think that's one more Arcane Bolt.
Yeah.
Gorik taking a lot of damage. He does have a salve. Will search a safety. J4 not there in time.
Yeah.
I also don't know if level 1 Ancient Seal would have secured the kill on him. It's debatable whether Conch Shot or Ancient Seal would have done more damage there. Usually it's Conch Shot, but if they already have a cold snap to overlap, then it's a toss-up.
Yeah, the difference is the concussive. The slow lets you get in those few extra licks.
Well, they had cold snap on them, which is
for
the overlap. I guess cold snap doesn't do that much magic damage anyway, so it's probably Conch Shot that wins out.
Yeah, but close call. 2-0, but PR still farming. Okay, minor goal lead for the Hellraisers. Lycan sitting pretty at the top of the last hitting chart in his safe lane, going for the fast Vlads. And on the Radiant side, Roche control a little bit more difficult for him. And as we've talked about with these heroes that can kill Roche very easily, that's where a lot of their power stems from. If you can deny that, take Roche for yourself, then limits some of their power. But HR looks like they want to start pressuring this tower nice and early, siege creep, and we'll chip at it.
Gorik still interrupting Soniko's farm, and Gorik is just... It's completely different from game 1, where he just had like almost no impact on the puck. In this game, he is just... soaking up so much experience, contesting the pulls. He's almost level 5 and doing a very, very good job of staying relevant as a Darkseer, not being forced to jungle. And of course, pushing their tower. And Drow Ranger is actually out of regen right now, so may potentially see her in a pickle soon.
A pickle. Yep. Dro, level 6. Oh wow, these... I don't know how to feel about these items that change the icons. That's very jarring. Oh, mid lane. I'm looking at cosmetics here. They'll get a kill on the Storm Spirit as J4 rotates over. No Ancient Seal. This time they were able just to do it the way they tried the first time, but instead successful.
Yeah, a little bit more Quas, a little bit more Wex. Last time he hit it, he was only level 4, so that's 1 Quas, 2 Wex, not that much damage or mana burn.
Storm's still 100 experience from level 6. That's like the perfect time to gank him when he's like, I'm right there, I can play a little more aggressive, and yeah, no get out of jail free card. Puck finds the double damage rune at the 6-minute mark, headed to the bottom lane, and we'll head back. Yeah, he does have 26 last hits, so having J4 down bottom has helped Cheshire Cat quite a bit. 1,000 gold, may want to stop off for power treads before the blink. All things considered, doing pretty well in the off lane, is doing slightly better than the Darkseer in last hits. Similar level of experience.
Going for a kill on Gorek. Level 1 Ancient Seal is up and ready. He is pushing up. This could be a kill.
Yep, uses that Ion Shell, and no, they're not going to go for it.
Well, they didn't actually have any vision of him. Now they will, though. Or will they? Oh,
J4
Gorek
hiding in the trees. This is the dire vision we're looking at here, and this is kind of funny. They're so close to each other, but have no idea. And I guess Gorek will be okay. He'll just kind of walk back and try and stack this up.
J4 is looking for him.
Uh-oh, the courier is going to fly overhead. This courier might actually scout him out. Again, looking at dire vision. They do. They see Gorek headed down to the river. And old Stumpy going to be that mobile ward.
It's a shame that they didn't have vision. They really needed this ward down a little bit earlier so that they can just jump the Darkseer. Again, he's getting away with a lot in this top lane. Even Ion shelling the Satyr and taking out that camp by his lonesome.
Yeah, they've got a fresh lane ward down now. So Darkseer's life may get a little more difficult. There's the Ancient Seal, Poison Touch. Gorek in a lot of trouble, will be silenced a little bit longer. No way to get off the surge, and Shotchlo secures the kill, ties it up 2-2, and gets a little more gold to his name.
Dread smoked up. Looks like he wants to place a very aggressive ward in the bottom lane. Maybe kill Puck, transition into a tower. Oh, it looks like he'll drop one on the high ground. This one's, I would say, is only useful if you're trying to contest the Ancients, which PR has not stacked yet at all.
Why would you go for this plateau over this one here? Is it just because this one's more expected to be dewarded?
That's one of the main reasons, yes. Another one is if you actually want to see heroes walking in to the lane.
Top tower
okay, yeah, we'll take a look at the Radiant Vision, so you can see if someone rotates down bottom, TPs to the tier 2.
But in general, the other one is superior, at least in this point in the game. But if the other was going to die, it's useless, right?
Oh, mid lane, Dread goes in for initiation on the Ditya and Ninja comes zipping in, but he's in tower range. Now they're going to try to turn it around. Ninja gets cold snapped. He can't get off the zip. He loses his mana. And Storm gets turned around upon with a big reaction from PR, even a Dream Coil used to secure it. And
the cold snap is just amazing against Storm Spirit, though.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was one of those where I think HR had the right idea. Venge was invis on the high ground, and if they could have done it earlier before Ditya got into tower range, that could have been a bit different, but made it super easy with the TPs. Gorek up top gets silenced. This could be the end of him here. They're going to dive the tower. The glyph has come out. The tower will certainly go down here. Dazzle secures the kill onto the Darkseer. Dro finishes off the tower, now looks towards Dread. Afraid of more rotations, won't commit for it, and makes the right calls. Ninja respawns, zips forward. That's going to be the end of his mana pool, but has the Vortex. Shotchlo could go down. Silence, double silence onto Ninja, and the Dro just cannot live. Now the swap onto J4. He'll just run down the river, or at least he'll try to. Ninja sipping the bottle, ready to pursue, but now out of mana. J4 will be able to live as Invoker starts making his way up top, and it will end with that.
That was so unfortunate for them that they zipped and they swapped at the exact same time.
Yep. Really was.
But still, got a kill on the Drow Ranger, got a kill on the Dazzle. Nice response from them. I didn't actually get a chance to see if that Precision Aura was affected.
Oh, yeah. I didn't check either.
Was Drow in there? I definitely saw Dazzle in the wall.
I'm not sure. I was looking at other stuff. I think, yeah, Dro also got the last hit on the tower, though, so that did not come for free. She still got a good bit out of it. Goes into the Morbid Mask. So now Lifesteal.
So we see the best Roshan items already come out. We see the Medallion plus the Vlad's already out on the HR. Vlad's carried by the Lycan and the Medallion carried by the Visage. So Roshan definitely an option for them. PR not the greatest. Roche Scouters, Puck in the bottom lane, decent at it. Maybe Invoker can head over there as well, but he's not Quas Exort, so won't have the luxury of the summons. But they're all around the pit.
Yeah, and Quaswex Invoker is pretty good around controlling Rush.
Did they just see the smoke without Wolf? I think they did.
Oh, they definitely did. They're stalking it out. It moves right into the pit. They're ready to see it. A dire Sentry Ward comes down.
HR also smokes next to their T1 tower in mid. Everyone is eyeing this Roshan.
I thought this might be a
They don't
fake
have
out.
vision.
They saw it, though. They saw the wolf. They know that HR has scouted them out. But PR still commit to the pit. Dread goes in first. Seneko could be the first to go down. They lose the dazzle right away, but Ninja gets turned around on. Wall of Replica comes out, but Dro in an okay position. Dread up in her face, finally brings her down. Arts goes into the big wolfy form. It's a bit of a bloodbath, but it's Power Rangers that come out not ahead. It's going to be a full 5-man wipe here as Cheshire Cat can't get away, and HR trade 2 for 5 and secure the Roche.
Too predictable by Power Rangers. All of them were already on that side of the map anyways, and they took a little bit of time to gather up, to do the Ancients, and then maybe like 20 seconds later they smoked up. I think if they hadn't done the Ancients and just had immediately went there, it would have been a lot safer, but of course, Artie's with a great play, scouting that out. Arts, I don't know how you say his name.
Apparently Arts is not how you say his name, but I don't know what the proper way is. We called him Artez for a while. People flamed us. Somebody told me it's pronounced Arts. They tried that. I can't pronounce Cyrillic, guys. Sorry. Bottom lane, shot slow, and Ninja going at it, but now the silence comes out. Ninja will get cold snapped, and he's going to go down again. This Storm Spirit just can't do a damn thing against the likes of this Quaswex Invoker. Back-to-back-to-back deaths.
Luckily for Power Rangers, HR was not able to take Roshan on the back of that 5-man wipe. The respawn timer just a little bit too low.
And Didyara bought back. That's important to remember. As soon as he bought back is when they really pieced out.
And here they go. Wolf is in the pit. It is deep into the pit. Sentry Ward won't be able to scout it out.
This is Radiant Vision we're looking at here. Birds flying overhead. They're going to go in and try and contest this. They want to snatch the Aegis, but can they do it? Goes down to the Dire. Invoker gets the Aegis. Now HR in an awful position. Dread gets taken out first. Puck jaunts forward. They're going to go on to Ghanem. Both these Radiant supports will get taken out. Dream Coil, Tornado. More than enough to secure the kill. And Power Rangers, after a few missteps, take quite a few forward and now have an Aegis off the back of those kills.
No Storm Spirit makes that a rather easy engage. Also, no Lycan Wolf form, that is. And Power Rangers, they have the added benefit of not being an ultimate dependent lineup. Dream Coil is pretty much the only one that's on a rather significant cooldown, but EMP, that rotation is only about a 30-second one. Draw Ranger doesn't really have any cooldowns to work with too. So this way, they can, if they lose a fight, whatever, their Wolf is down, can get kited very easily, at least. Not when he has level 2 shapeshift.
Yeah. Puck will now pick up the Blink Dagger, so everything just getting easier for PR now that they have this tempo controller. And 13-minute Orchid out on Dityara, who also has an Aegis of the Immortal. This is scary. Storm's already having a rough time. This is now the 4th silence in the mix on top of the cold snap to lock him down. And if he wants a BKB, an Orchid, whatever it is, he's pretty damn far away.
This is one of the risks of drafting a Storm in the first phase. You just draft a lot of silences, try to shut him down a little bit early with the great Skyras rotations, and yeah, there you have it. A Treads, Null, Bottle, Storm Spirit with no pieces of Orchid complete. Might just have to go into that BKB damage control mode that you were talking about.
Looking at the gold graph, 2,500 gold, 1,500.
Gora gets scouted out by Dityara.
Oh, he misses the Tornado, but still EMP, and is the Orchid enough? The Soul Burn will kill him here. Yep, doesn't even need the Tornado. That's the power of just an early Orchid, man. It is so hard to deal with.
Especially against a hero like Darkseer and Storm.
Yeah, they rely so much on their spells.
Even Lycan, I'd say, is actually somewhat vulnerable, too. He doesn't have his Necro books, and he has 1,200 HP, but if he can't shapeshift, he's done for.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, of course, BKB is a way to deal with the Orchid, but it's just too early. Nobody's going to have a BKB for at least the next 5-10 minutes, unless they find another crazy team fight like we saw around the Roche pit.
And the Drow Invoker combo is actually very strong. Invoker hits for 200 damage with the precision aura. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that really is. He's basically a carry right now for all intents and purposes. That's one of the other nice things about the Orchid. It just gives you some good beef to your right clicks, you know? A little faster, a little harder. Dro goes into the Mask of Madness here. Everybody loving that Mask of Madness, man. That's like the trendy thing to do these days.
And now HR forced to group up 4 heroes in the mid lane. Nobody wants to get picked off by this Invoker, and he is searching in the trees, but we'll find no one. And this time he goes for Alacrity. Screw the Cold Snap.
Yeah, I think he used it in one of the other little skirmishes. And
oh, he will find Afro Ninja. Oh, no.
Oh, boy. There is a Lycan on the other side of the trees. He goes in. There's the Orchid. EMP comes out. Afro Ninja nowhere to go with the silence. and dies to the Soul Burn. Hits him for 290. Dityara just walks away. He'll go into Ghost Walk, and yeah, there's no detection. It's too easy for Dityara right now. 6-1 and 3. He's just walking around the map, and pretty much anyone that he bumps into is going to be a kill. I think he can actually solo anyone right now in just a 1v1.
Yes.
So he'll make some space. The rest of his team will group up as 4 and take out the bottom tier 2 tower, or at least try to. Glyph comes out. Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage from Visage Birds, and now taking tower shots. Will get healed up by the Dazzle. Dream Coil on a few. The birds just fly right out of it. And Cheshire Cat needs to be careful. All right, he will be able to orb back to safety. J4 taking that last will damage. But PR will walk away. They don't... Oh, they do manage to finish off the tower. And it was not denied. Dro gets another one. Double damage rune now picked up on her and a Yasha.
I don't see this Drow push relenting anytime soon.
I mean, why would it? PR, just they've got free roam in the map. They can clear out the Radiant jungle. They can take fights sort of however they want. Dityara is so comfortable now he goes back for a Midas at 16 minutes after an Orchid.
Well, this is what you need to do when they play passively. Similar to the Axe in Game 1, he gets a blink, other team groups up, and if you can't get anything accomplished on your own, and the other team's just going to farm, you have to try and out-farm them. HR not...
Is HR even farming right now? I don't think
they're
so.
Trying to.
Yeah, trying to farm in their base, it looks like.
They need BKBs. Storm is on his way towards one. Ogre Club up. Lycan probably will proceed into one after Necro, but Necro 3 is still 2,000 gold away.
Oh, mid lane initiation on to Gorak. He'll lose his mana, get silenced, and that'll be more than enough for another easy kill for the Power Rangers. It was a 4-on-4 in mid lane, and now it's a 3-on-4 as Gotham gets scouted out, compliments of the weave. Dityara on the front lines will just keep poking him. Grave Chill buys Gotham a little bit of time, but is it enough? Doesn't look like it. A few more auto attacks.
Gets gusted.
Oh, he's silenced, but a nice swap from Dread keeps him alive. Now the cold snap. He's trying to zip it. He just can't get away. Makes it into the trees. They won't be able to finish him off. Visage probably won't be so lucky. EMP. Oh, not going to be enough. Will not hit him, actually. But still got him. Will get locked in place. And sort of an awkward little fight there, but still Power Rangers obviously dominating. Just picking them off one by one. Now Arts will shapeshift into top lane. Dream Coil comes out from the puck. Wolves doing a lot of damage. The rest of his team trying to rendezvous. They'll clear out the Wolves best they can. Dityara, oh, he bumps right into Arts. He's going to lose shapeshift pretty soon. He did get hit by the Ghost Walk, so Nose Invoker is inbound. Seneko hits him with a weave. The Poison Touch, that will slow him down. Cold Snap, and now Arts in dangerous territory here, Merlini. He's got no armor, and yeah. Talk about getting picked apart just one at a time.
He couldn't TP ever because Dityara was on him.
Yep.
And, I mean, no one's catching any break on HR.
Yeah.
Only 6 kill difference, but...
I feel like that could have been a little difference if he didn't run into the tower. If he took the other path, like trying to go down. Because Dazzle was able to TP, but...
Could have been slightly different. I mean, Dityara is incredibly fast, though. 498.
That's true.
With Ghost Walk on.
Yeah. He still had a little while on Shapeshift. Maybe could have gotten into the trees and looked for a TP, but yeah, no easy escape plan.
He just found Gorak.
God, Gorak, he's in trouble. Okay, does not get hit by the EMP. Maybe they'll turn this around. Dityara biting off a little more than you can chew on that one, but now Shachlo, the trash collector, ready to take it out. Gets a silence onto Ninja, but only level 1 and will not have the damage, so...
Drow could actually die here.
Potentially, yeah.
The Gust is almost over, and there's still a healthy amount of mana on the Storm Spirit. Dump an Ion Shell on him, but this requires no TPs from PR, and that would be a risky play from HR, but might just be what they need to get back into the game.
Puck does not have a coil or a TP. Dazzle has 5 seconds. Skywrath has 5 seconds. Actually, no one can TP in for another 5 seconds.
They don't know that, though.
They don't know that, yeah, but I think Shachlo is just going to turn tail and run at this point. See, Storm's going to be stuck in this position here where, well, he does have bottle charges, so I guess he's okay. But the Vortex is on cooldown.
So I think with Surge, they can potentially kill him. It's just too risky, though. They don't know where PR supports are.
Yeah.
And they don't want... They just got a huge kill on Invoker, too, especially on the struggling Storm Spirit.
Yeah. So, Lycan... 980 gold. Wow, PR with a 10,000 gold lead, about 6,000 experience. Only 5 kills ahead, but this Invoker still completely controlling the game. You look at the net worth chart, and that is just damn scary for 19 minutes. You've got the 3 cores of PR leading the way. Lycan's right behind him. Then after that, there's this huge drop-off where all the cores on HR outside of Lycan are in Strug City. Vengeful Spirit at the bottom of the bunch. We will resume here, and Shotchlo, he'll be just fine. Affinage does not try to pursue, and he just walks back to the tower. So very anticlimactic. But Shotchlo does have about 3,000 gold, so could move into a Manta style here, could go S and Y. A lot of options for this Drow. And really the end of the story is that he's in good shape.
And, I mean, BKBs will be coming out for HR fairly soon, and if Drow Ranger gets jumped on, they can't actually deal with the BKB. I guess they have Weave. Weave is decent, and Shallow Grave is decent at kiting it, but still they have enough catch to kill people after the grave. More importantly, though, Power Rangers need to secure the next Roshan, make the Drow Ranger that much more scary in terms of their inventory.
Yeah. We'll see what the Roche timer looks like pretty soon here, just a couple of seconds. And it will be a long one. 2 minutes and 20 seconds till the big creep comes back.
They also don't have a really good way to deal with the Necrobooks. Like, the Necrobooks are just running rampant on the weak heroes, Puck, and the 2 supports, more importantly. And on top of that, it will be level 3 soon, which means Invoker can't escape with his Ghost Walk. And he had his Midas picked up a while ago, but unable to really transition into any item after that. Darkseer and goddamn playing around in the opponent's trees.
Looking at dire vision right now. They know there's somebody nearby. They're trying to find him. And they'll do just that. Gorican got him. Hey, there you are. Got him. We'll get Orchided. EMP will miss once more, but the Soul Burn going to get him very low within range of a Waning Rift.
But Gorak will walk into Shotchlo.
Oh, the silence does not interrupt TPs, and little Darkseer will be able to TP home. Always weird how the gust moves you. I always feel like that should interrupt the TP, but it does not. My immersion, man. BKB picked up on the Drow Ranger, though. That's her next item after the Yasha. Getting a little magic immunity.
And HR trying to expand their territory where they can farm. And they're taking some risk by having a couple heroes out. Ooh.
Hearts. Okay. He sees that the Wolves get hit by the Ghost Walk, and will just shapeshift away.
Smart defensive play by him. He doesn't know how many are around him.
Yeah, exactly. And hard for the Invoker to deal with that, as he doesn't know where the Wolves are, so that is actually kind of cute. Lycan can stay safe as long as he has Wolves down from the Ghost Walk, which has been a pretty integral part of how Ditya has controlled this game. 7-2-7, still just dominating. Roche coming up here very soon, just about 15-20 seconds. Seneko stationed in the pit, scouting it out. Looks like Power Rangers want to move in the second he comes up and make sure Lycan does not have any undue opportunities to grab an Aegis.
And for all HR knows right now, Roshan could be up.
Yep.
And they actually have wards over there to see the supports, and Lycan Wolf will proceed in just as Roshan is about to spawn, and Lycan already with his Necro 3 up. And this could be actually a point for them to contest. However, the Storm Spirit does not have a TP up for 20 seconds, and he's on the opposite side of the map. So looks like it's going to be a 5v4 at best. So this is Radiant Vision we're looking at right now. Obviously, they see movements into the pit. The Wolf has despawned, and they will not contest this. Medallion makes it a fast Roche. And a matter of seconds before he goes into the ground. Aegis of the Immortal picked up by the Ranger. The vacuum wall is huge for Roshan Pit, but they just can't get over there at this point. Still with no BKBs up, although Storm Spirit has his on the way right now.
Good play from PR, though. They knew Roche was coming up at any time, and they just kind of stationed around that area of the map and made sure they felt safe moving into the pit. Storm Spirit will get the big item pickup, though. 23 minutes in, that is the BKB. So in this next fight, he'll have his maximum duration of magic immunity, and that'll be his opportunity to really try and make it happen. Cheshire Cat also has a gem, so Lycan Wolves not going to be those mobile wards that they once were.
And the BKB is only going to be a short-term solution because Ditya is going for a Scythe of Vice, and with a Ghost Walk Hex Jump, should be fairly easy to burst these heroes down. Unless, of course, there is a defensive swap coming out which could buy time for them to pop their BKBs. So PR still with a pretty good gold lead, but not the best tools to actually deal with HR's lineup come another BKB. I mean, even one BKB is slightly worrisome for PR.
It makes it difficult to lock down and just kill this Storm, but the nice thing is that Storm is not really that big of a threat in terms of damage output. He still has a very small mana pool relative to what Storm would like to have. Big Wolfie makes it into wolf form, and I think he'll actually live. Ditya Ra taking a lot of damage, but gets graved, and not going to be enough. The Necronomicon units mixed with the Wolves, too much for him. And while that's happening, they get a Tier 1 tower in the mid. That's what you were talking about. The Necro 3 actually doing some serious work.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, they had 4 heroes there. They coiled him. He doesn't have BKB, and they still can't kill him.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
I think at this point, it might have to be a Puck Scepter to actually kill this Lycan. One of the better solutions of dealing with a Lycan.
Yes, absolutely. And Puck will not do that. Takes an ultimate orb here, and it looks like a Scythe, or Lincoln's, but probably double Scythe coming out on him and Invoker. That is another way to deal with the Lycan and BKBs in general, if you can get that initiation and catch them off guard.
Yeah, Scythe is better versus their whole entire team. Scepter is better, I think, purely to catch Lycan.
Yeah. Scepter not so great against the Storm.
He can usually get the jump too, being a Puck and all with the blink. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, so the amount of window that they'll have to work with the Scythe is going to be a little bit less.
Yeah. Well, I think PR have already kind of... It seems like they've given up on the trying to use this momentum to end the game before 30 minutes. I think they'll take the next five-ish minutes in this mid-game to farm up their next round of core items. S&Y is now up on the Dro Ranger. Maybe wait till she's level 16 before they really look to take a fight. Aegis gone in 2 minutes. Puck is still pretty far away from the Scythe of Vice.
Oh, Skywrath gets jumped in mid. Easy kill.
It. He's got himself a Ghost Scepter. There's the grave from Seneko. Now Dreg going to get turned around on. Can't find the kill on J4 quite yet. The birds will finish him off. But still a 1-for-1. Not the clean kill that HR wanted. And it's a 10-second BKB charge on Affinninja.
Great timing by Dazzle to be there.
Oh, now Yule's used on the Visage. Got him. Will get left behind. The rest of PR in hot pursuit. And they will turn this 1-for-1 into a 2-for. Shotchlo gets stunned up, but heals himself, or gets healed by the Dazzle, and they're going to continue pressing on into the Radiant Ancients, perhaps. They'll get both the Visage Familiar, so another 200 gold pick-me-up. And maybe... Do PR look at high ground here? This feels very risky.
They can threaten it. They have the Aegis of the Immortal.
Yes, they know Storm's BKB is on cooldown, another 30 seconds. So that is a pretty big incentive. They'll just alacrity up the Dro Ranger and see what damage Shotchlo can do. Force out the Glyph pretty easily. And their Skywrath Mage will TP to the Tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Still have 10 seconds on Visage. Gorek comes in with a wall. Do they get the Aura, Merlini? They do not.
That's a negative.
That's a big negative. So, okay. Dark Seer, not a great counter pick against the Dro Ranger, if you're talking about auras.
That was a smart move by him to just drop the wall, though, to buy time. And it buys them one more creep wave, which is long enough for Storm Spirit to have his BKB. So it might look like a wasted wall, but I certainly do not think it is.
No, I don't think so either. Shotchlo still doing what damage he can from the low ground. They want this tower before they back out. We'll vacuum to the high ground there. Remember, there is an Aegis of the Immortal in the inventory of the Dro, so Shotchlo...
Not for long. 20 seconds left. This is risky.
This is very risky. I hope he's keeping his eye on that timer. He will get the regeneration effect, don't forget, so could still help him out. They do get the melee barracks, though. HR play that surprisingly passive. Was that the right play there, Merlini? Just let the racks fall when you have all your ultimates up, BKB on Storm?
It depends on how
well, everything but wall.
If you don't have a good game plan to engage the fight, I think they were trying to wait out the Aegis, but PR's like, okay, well, we have this long on the Aegis, let's go for it, and hope they engage on Drow. Yeah. So I think it depends on how they want to engage. I think they could swap someone else in and kite the Drow Ranger, just like stick a lot of Lycan units on him, or like swap him into dangerous territory and then just go for the weaker heroes, like BKB and initiate on the Invoker or the Skywrath or the Puck or someone else who's a little bit easier to kill. But
Lycan, he's in trouble, manages to get off the ultimate, caught in a tornado EMP there. He gets hit by the Orchid. So that'll put his Necro Book and ultimate on cooldown for about a minute and a half. I don't know how much of
Dire's
a
bottom
victory that
tower is
actually
under
is. He'll
attack.
actually get good use out of the Necro units.
Dire's
Go into the
structures
Tier 1
are
tower down
fortified.
bottom, forces out the Glyph, and I think this tower is destined to be short-lived. There you go.
I think they were
Dire's
just not
bottom
confident into
tower
that
has
fight.
fallen.
If they lose that fight, they lose another set of racks.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And also, maybe they didn't take the Roshan timer. So there's a lot of possible explanations for why they didn't take that fight, although all their cooldowns were up.
Yeah, I mean, this is that stage of the game where one lane of barracks, or really a half
Radiant's
lane of
top
barracks for
tower
that matter,
under
is
attack.
not game-ending by any stretch of the imagination. As you said, 2 is
Smoke,
much
wrap
harder to come
around.
back from. They're going to try it. Their
Radiant's
Tier
top
2 tower
tower
already
has
goes
fallen.
down, so the wraparound going to be a little more difficult. Good ward coverage on both sides. Radiant get a fresh one down here, and Dire have one on the plateau to try and scout out a potential
Radiant's top
wraparound
tower
like was
is under
incoming.
attack.
HR will take the more defensive play and just back up into the base as PR look for the proper opening to try and make this happen.
Look at how they always move around as 5. They moved around as 5 to kill that observer ward, and they're not letting HR get any sort of good initiation on them. Like 2 weak supports with BKB initiates is going to be a 3-on-5 immediately. And this way they can all be protected. Drow Ranger can right-click the BKB heroes and force them to play defensively during that cooldown.
So now this is scary. No Glyph. HR do have their cooldowns available. Swap onto Shotchlow, but he's got a BKB. Follow-ups there. Puck hops in. And now Storm will use his BKB. Drone Invoker, the first 2 to go down. J4 won't be able to find a kill. He'll try to TP home, get Soul Assumptioned, and what a defense from the Hellraisers. A straight 5-0. Whoa.
This is what they probably could have done, and I think in the last couple of minutes they were trying to think about, okay, what's the best way we can initiate on the Drow Ranger and kill her entire team. And they swapped her because she doesn't have a Blink Dagger, or even if she does.
Didn't they swap the Invoker?
No, they swapped. I'm pretty sure they swapped the Drow Ranger.
Because he was the one that was stuck right here and BKB'd and tried to run out.
That was Drow.
Oh, yeah. Invoker doesn't have a BKB.
So
I'm an idiot. That was Drow. Yeah, I thought it was the
Drow got
Invoker.
swapped in, and then after that, everyone has to blow their defensive cooldowns immediately. She has to pop BKB. Everyone has to, they have to try and grave. They have to, or actually, they have to try and blink silence with Puck, and all they need to do is just zerg down the Drow Ranger. Once they zerg down the Drow Ranger, all the right-click damage from Precision Aura is done for. And on top of that, her marksmanship is done for. So she is the ideal target for them to go for, and looks like PR is going to need an Aegis in order to cope with these BKBs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why I thought that was... I'm going to blame it on this headpiece. I blamed the mask. It looked like Invoker for half a second. But, so what's the game plan for PR? Is it kind of rinse and repeat, except just keep Shotchlow in the far back, so they have to, if they want to swap Initiate, have to do it on another target?
Well, there is no other target that PR is willing to get swapped. Invoker doesn't have a blink. He also doesn't have a BKB, so he's just going to flat out die.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they don't have. They just have to. They have to catch them. That's really what the.
Oh,
the
here
game
we
plan
go.
is.
Another 5-man smoke from HR pushing up this hill. They will find Saniko.
Oh, Shotchlow gets swapped again. Uses the BKB. This time he's able to get back in position. Dread will be the first to go down, it looks like. And now PR just trying to disengage and reset a little bit. Saneko gets a grave off on himself. Arts with the BKB on. Has the Ion Shell trying to chase down Shotchlow. Might be able to find this kill. Another nice gust. Pushes back all of the summons. J4 uses the Ghost Scepter. That will buy him some time. It's a 1 for 2. Now a 1 for 3. The difference this time around is PR keep 2 of their cores alive. So that does help a little bit. But HR striking back with a vengeance, Merlini. Another 2,000 net worth trade.
They do no damage if Drow is forced to run. They BKB'd Mask of Madness, and she just booked it to base. Lycan stayed on her, and Invoker stayed with a Drow Ranger in order to kite Lycan after his BKB is up. But still, they have nothing on the BKBs. And actually, they have nothing on Lycan even when he ultimates.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, the coil is the only tool they could potentially have, but he's got that BKB, now down to 9 seconds. So that was his 10-second BKB charge. Arch has been very disciplined about how he's chosen to use it. And that will certainly pay some dividends. Zyori coming in down bottom, maybe thinking about having to go on Gotham, forces a resummon on the familiars, and that'll be the end of that little engagement there. So glancing at the graphs, PR still with a very minor gold lead, but HR has the momentum in this game. Storm has recovered, now has an ultimate orb, another 2,600 gold. Things looking a lot better for the Hellraisers.
So PR can proceed a couple of ways from here. Firstly, they need to secure Roshan if possible. But in terms of overall game plan to tackle this Zerg rush that HR is employing to win these fights, they can proceed with a a much smarter split push style that requires a lot cleaner execution. Oh, Saniko's actually blocked in with the wolves.
Oh, another swap on the shot slow from a 5-man smoke. Again, BKB, Mask of Madness towards the base. Ninja gets isolated, will use his BKB, turns on Saneko. Again, Grave on himself, buys some time for his team, and ends up being okay for PR. Just a kill on the Dazzle rather than Zerg Rush on the Dro, but now Roche is available. This is Roche 3 with the cheese, and PR at a big disadvantage.
They still have yet to find a solution for this.
Yep, and even Dro still alive, but BKB on cooldown, so they can't really reliably fight here, except they'll try it. Meatball comes rolling on in. EMP Tornado. Roche very low, no way to snatch the Aegis, and Darkseer will actually be the one to pick it up of all heroes. Cheese goes to Arts.
And let's see, Dread surged up. So how do they counter this? I still think it's Puck Coil is the best way for them to counter it, or they just need to get the jump on the Venge or the Lycan or the Storm so they can't pop BKBs. They have one Scythe of Ice, but I haven't really seen anyone in a piggy form yet. He hasn't really had the opportunity to use it.
I mean, the last 3 fights have all been the exact same thing. HR smoke up, get the jump, focus the Dro, swap her in, and then she runs away, and the rest of the chaos just breaks out after that. Now, the key thing to note is that HR have burned all their smokes. They've got 7 minutes until they can buy another one, none in their inventories. So maybe this will be a window where PR can try and get some momentum back. At least they'll be safe from the smoke rotations. But I think their way to get back into this is to give them a taste of their own medicine. They need to smoke and be the initiators. When they get the jump, they win. When they get jumped on, it seems like they lose.
But who do they jump on?
Like anyone? Like, I'm thinking more like smoke into the jungle and look for a pick-off.
Not a pick-off. Yeah. But still, if HR just group S5 and proceed with his game plan, and if someone gets hexed, they defensive swap and then proceed with a BKB on Drought. The thing is, they don't actually have to BKB on the Drought Ranger. Lycan has only used this once. All they really need to do is throw all the summons. They have a Visage with an Ags. They have a Medallion they can just toss on to Drow from very far range. On top of that, they have the 2 Wolves and the 2 Necrobugs. So we're talking about 7 units total that aren't heroes, that do a lot of damage. Just stick on the Drow, and she only has 1600 HP. Mask of Madness, Butterfly kind of canceling each other out there because she always uses it to run during the BKB.
Yeah, the Butterfly will help. She's had the Eagle Song for a while, but now the Evasion makes all those summons a little bit less potent.
She might need a Blink Dagger.
That could be a good idea here.
Like, if she sees anyone, she just blinks back, and Storm has to commit a lot of mana to jump her, and he actually has to be in a pretty bad position after that. And Lycan has to waste a lot of his move up time to chase her. And I mean, that's still not a guaranteed solution though, just because Scythe of Ice is already up on the Storm Spirit. So if he sees the Drow Ranger, he just zips in and Scythe, and Blink is actually no longer an option available for Drow Ranger.
Yeah, the Scythe on Ninja is pretty damn scary right now. Not only has he recovered, but now he's a real threat. Also holding the cheese, one of the better cheese carriers there. Darkseer, haven't checked in on him, but he's picked up a Shiva's Guard, and again, the Aegis carrier here, so now he can be the front liner and not really fear too much. PR, they're grouped up as 4 in the bottom lane, ready to push towards the high ground, and Dityaraz, the one that's not with them right now. Turning into sort of an awkward rotation is now HR moving towards the tier 2 up top.
The heroes that are just impossible to kite are just incredibly good against Drow Ranger. We're talking about like Centaurs, we're talking about Lycanthropes, and I mean this last pick by HR is just proved to be its weight in gold.
Okay, both teams committing to the movements. It's all 5 from HR up top. Dityaraz still the defender. Invoker pretty good in this kind of a scenario, just throwing out the ice walls, EMPs, tornadoes, pretty difficult to push into, but it does leave PR with only 4 heroes in the bottom, and Hellraisers will TP back to defend.
Power Rangers are more than willing to go for this because it'll be, what, 2 Rex versus 1 Rex advantage, and then it'll be Megas versus 2 Rex if they keep proceeding like this. And, you know, obviously HR doesn't want to set that sort of precedent going into the later game where they think that they're willing to trade buildings.
So if this turns a little bit more passive over the next 10-15 minutes, let's say no more barracks fall, who's got that late game advantage? I have to say it's HR with the Storm.
We don't know now because Puck has a Scythe, or sorry, he has the Ags now.
Okay.
So
and another
now that he has the Ags, they can actually counter the swap initiate with a well-placed and well-timed well-timed coil, because now Drow Ranger only has to walk like, maybe 900 and 1000 range instead of 3 screens away.
Yeah, now the wolf can't just chase her down. So.
And Storm doesn't have enough physical damage to bring her down. Even with Howl, he just doesn't have enough right click because of the butterfly on Drow too.
Yeah. So a long time before next Roche comes up. Aegis will be expiring in the very near future, so HR will not be able to make much use out of this one. Just trying to take out the last remaining outer tower. Still 2 tier 2s standing, and maybe soon to be 1 as they start to press forward. And PR with the same ideas you were talking about. They're happy to try and exchange if that's going to be possible. And just kind of playing the dance right now, or doing the dance rather. Aegis expired just as this fight breaks out. Gorik goes in, vacuum wall. Is it enough? He gets hexed. His team's starting to follow up. They're going to turn right in onto Gorik, and they do a fair bit of damage. Can't bring him down. Art breaks the tether. Long 4.5 second stun, but Dread's there with the swap. Now Ninja. BKB on, hops forward once. Ditya. Can't find him right away. Grave comes out. He's getting trained by the units. Drow Ranger falls. Art's still barely alive. Seneko will run away, and another bad fight for the Power Rangers. It's not even over yet. Puck still may get caught. Ninja zipping forward. A phase shift, and not going to be enough.
Great play by Gorik. He blinks in, vacuum walls, and Drow's immediately forced to BKB, because if she gets hexed, she is going to be in that critical HP range where even if she gets Grave, she's going to die anyway. So she has to pop her BKB right then and there, and all they traded was a wall, which, it's just a wall at the end of the day in order to pop her BKB. And after that, she gets jumped on by Storm, gets jumped on by Lycan, and even with the puck coil onto the BKB Lycan, still not enough for them to win the fight. And now Power Rangers are like, crap, we can't 5-man. We've lost the last 3 or 4 fights, even with the puck ags, and now they just have to go for a much different type of play, which is not take 5-on-5, split push, and maybe go for pickoffs with the Scythe of
There is double Scythe available on HR now. Gotham has picked one up on the Visage. So Saw Cross also on Lycan. Everything's starting to fall into line for the Hellraisers, and this gold graph, what was once vastly in favor of the Power Rangers, now dead even at that 0 mark, with HR taking the XP advantage. That will be the end of the outer towers for Power Rangers, so their safety structure is quickly coming to an end. Invoker now, he picks up an Assault Kuros, and Skywrath Mage buys a trio of smokes. Looks like PR may try to move around the map and look for some pickoffs. Do they have too many other options at this point? It seems everything else they've tried has just not been workable.
They have to get the Aegis.
Yeah.
I think with the Aegis, they can at least threaten another Rax or dissuade HR from pushing, but the problem is Drow's time has already... Oh, yeah, actually, the smoke gank's about to happen.
Rotating in. Dread will pop it as they blink forward. Art has some time to channel his ultimate. Ninja gets hexed. BKB used by Art. He's stuck inside of the coil, but Ditya too close. No reason for him to break the tether. Nice Grave. Keeps Ditya alive. Ninja still alive as well, but very low. They'll lose the Invoker. Trade it for the Venge. Now drove vacuumed back. Great play by the Darkseer. And Gorik continue to pursue. Seneko will get locked down, has a Grave for himself, but he'll try to TP home. Any interrupts? No, and they'll actually kind of let him live. J4 still getting pursued by Gorik, who's diving tier 4 towers and does find the kill on the Skywrath. So after all that, it's a 2-for-3 trade. There was a buyback on the Vengeful Spirit from the Hellraisers, and they will move forward towards the high ground.
Now I see the Darkseer's strength here. What they're trying to do is they swap an immobile hero like the Drow Ranger, and everyone else is forced to come to the fight. So the fight is centered around pretty much where Venge ends up swapping into, and then this just sets up for a perfect Darkseer vacuum wall. And on top of that, he has the other options available to him, like Blink initiating on the Drow Ranger to pop her BKB, and surging Vengeful Spirit so that he can actually get a good swap off. And yeah, Darkseer is actually working out very well for them this game. He started off 1-5, now he is 9-5. On top of that, he's also good at split pushing the lanes too. If Drow Ranger can't actually push her towers down by 30-35 minutes and get a Rax, her impact is severely limited. And they have the Lycan, who can pretty much split push with impunity with the BKB and his ult. Storm Spirit, same with his ultimate and BKB. And the Darkseer, also with his Ion Shell, split push a lot in the 15 to 30 minute phase of the game.
Yep. Well, we've got a minute until Roche respawns, and that will undoubtedly become the focal point of this match. We've got the Lycan Wolf already in the pits, scouting it out. A Sunstrike flying through, and that poor Wolf will get melted. And PR will see that Roche has not come up. Also, Dro did buy back at the tail end of that last fight to make the defense. HR didn't even really have to commit much for it, and putting a big dent in the economy of the carry on the Rangers there.
So one Drow death away from just actually going to DAC, qualifying straight up.
Yeah, one Dro death away indeed. Well, both these teams will be going as wild cards. There's still the grand finals after this to be the one team that's in the main event. There's still one more best of 5 after this, but coming into a best of 5 with a 1-game advantage is a good feeling, to say the least. Storm moving into a Bloodstone now has the Soul Booster, so just continuing to tank up, more and more difficult to kill. And there's the Roshan.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So PR already making movements, smoked up. This is Dire Vision. Nobody has any wards down except the Radiant have one on their side of the river. Roche now in hot pursuit. Dread swaps out Arts to keep him safe. Vacuum wall right in the pit. PR in a lot of trouble. So many low health heroes. HRs have to clean it up. Bench goes down first. Half and Ninja pursuing off to the side. Everybody on PR trying to run, but it's just not happening. Shotchlo still alive. Gorak now and continuing to pursue. Little Ishkafel, the Darkseer. Can he finish him off? Force staff forward. Gets silenced. Put inside of a Yule's Scepter. And Puck will keep the Dro Ranger safe. But unfortunately for Power Rangers, HR will secure the Roche, get the next cheese, and another H.
Roshan has fallen to the
And
Radiant.
that is
Dire's middle
very
tower
close to
is under
game.
attack.
And it's just such a difficult fight to take around the Roshan pit. You saw how effective that wall was. Where are they supposed to move with a wall placed like that?
Yeah. Running circles in the pit. I mean, they did do a pretty good delta split. They all kind of ran in different directions and minimized their losses fairly effectively.
They aren't ever doing damage, though. They're always just running away.
You're absolutely right.
And Cheese will go to Lycan. Aegis will be in the hands of the Storm Spirit. It looks like he has
Finally.
passed his gem to the Darkseer to carry. And 3 BKBs up. It is close to drawing the curtains for Power Rangers.
We're getting there. Remember, guys, El Clasico coming up after this. Navi Alliance, an elimination match, our final best of 3 of the day. Will start promptly after this match completes with HR and PR. The winner of the El Clasico will be playing the loser of this in the lower bracket finals for, again, a shot at that best of 5 final series. 45 minutes in, never too late to get a Midas, says the Darkseer. Oh, yeah, wait, maybe he changed his mind. I think he sold it back and picked up BOTs instead. Okay. Say 46-minute hand of Midas. Not sure about the value town on that.
Easy attack speed to punch Drow.
Yeah, you know, it's almost as good as a Hyperstone.
Invisibility.
Okay, so for Hellrangers, God, starting to combine the two teams. For Hellraisers, just a matter of finding that right opening. This is their game to throw at this point. And maybe waiting for some smokes to come back. Do they have any smokes? How long's it been? Nope, still out of stock. I think they bought another one.
They have so many safety nets at this point that it's very difficult for them to throw.
Yeah, it really is.
They have an Aegis, they have a Cheese, they have defensive swap, they have 3 BKBs, they have a Blink vacuum wall to counter-initiate. I mean, it is...
Although, to be honest, I kind of felt that way at the end of the second game. After PR took 2 lanes of barracks, it's like, this is going to be tough to throw, and they managed to do it. Again, they didn't throw, but took that unfortunate fight. HR pushing up the mid. They're ready to end it sooner rather than later. PR only have 4 back to defend at the moment. Trying to do some split push in the top lane. Dro is going to do what she can. It's just about buying time. A huge vacuum into the wall. And now PR in a lot of trouble. Invoker goes down first, buys back straight away. Dazzle manages to grave himself. Hex on the J4. It's all about buying time. Dro going on to the tier 3 in the top. They'll lose their tier 3 here in the mid lane. Puck has already used the coil. Maybe they can still find some interrupts. Still no TPs back. FNJ gets hexed. Dread and got him. All taking a lot of damage. HR still with all 5 alive, but they're losing health quickly. PR doing a good job trying to pull all of their effort into different places. And Dro finished off the top lane of barracks. Will BKB TP home. And actually, Power Rangers get a pretty good trade out of that. It's a dieback on their Invoker, but they get another melee barracks.
They're about to turn around on them right here.
And Puck will be able to hop back, but right into a stun. Another nice grave, buys Cheshire Cat some time. Maybe he can jaunt to this orb, could still live yet. Puck survives on 1 HP, compliments of the Shadow Priest. And HR unable to deliver that killing blow. They didn't even finish off the barracks here, Merlini. PR is still doing it.
Didier doesn't have buyback though. He died, he bought back, and then he died again. So now it's an Invoker kill away, and that was very smart of them to sacrifice Invoker's life rather than the Drow, because Drow doesn't have buyback. She will in just about 20 seconds time, and I mean Drow is one of the fastest tower pushers in the game if left unchecked.
Really smart play from PR, and also just recognizing that the previous approach was not working. They know they can't win just a straight up 5v5, and that Drow Ranger is that meaty target. But if they can play the rat game, split the efforts of HR, they might still have a chance yet. And
on top of that, that buys time for them to waste the Aegis. Aegis is going to expire in 40 seconds, and HR clearly want to make some use of this. Sochlo, for some reason, headed around the pick. He's actually scouted out by the Visage Familiars, but looks like he is just trying to draw them away from that prized mid lane of barracks. Timer on Aegis, just 30 seconds left, so the time for Afro Ninja to find a good jump is very, very small, about 25 seconds and counting.
Yep. Shotchlo, Invisibility Rune, will decide to TP back to the base and mount for a defense, knowing that Dityara does not have that second life. They will succeed in waiting out the Aegis. Storm with 9 charges on the Bloodstone, so he'll still respawn pretty quickly. Thought he was going to make a long jump in there, but just softening up the creep wave.
And also Invoker going for the AC, knowing that physical damage from Lycan and Storm Spirit is mostly killing him and his team.
Yep.
Preemptive Weave, here they go.
Get that armor ticked up, and we're going to look at buybacks here. The only one that doesn't have it because of cooldown is Dityara. Quite a few others available to buy back here if need be, but most of them are on the side of the Hellraisers. Initiation coming in. Puck goes in first. Dream Coil on 3, but he gets hexed instantly. Grave comes out, buys him a little bit of time. Now the wall replica on the high ground. PR now on the back foot, trying to make it back towards their well. They do manage to pick off the Lycan. Dityara still alive. He's the target with no buyback here. Got him doing what he can. Seneko will end up falling, and Dityara should be able to do some cleanup here. Finishes off the Visage. A buyback from the Dazzle, but an amazing hold from Power Rangers. This time they're the ones that try to get aggressive, and it pays some dividends.
Finally, they got the jump. It was a Blink Puck initiate and then a sick Grave to follow after he got hexed up. And then this time they couldn't initiate with a Vacuum Wall, they couldn't initiate with a swap, and on top of that they didn't have the Aegis on the Storm. I think they could have just went in for the racks in that very small window timing, exactly the same way that Power Rangers did earlier with the short timer on the Drow Rangers Aegis, and they just pretty much sacrificed Storm for the racks. And at this point, I mean, PR with that sort of game plan and that sort of initiate and that sort of hesitancy coming out from Hellraisers, they're right back in the game.
Sure are. Roshan's still not going to be up for a while, but PR do manage to force a buyback on the Visage. They don't really even have to do much to do it. Just kind of stroll up the mid lane, act like they might push, and one more buyback they don't have to worry about for future skirmishes. Though, worth reiterating, they did have to buy back on their Dazzle. Well, maybe not have to, but they chose to buy back on the Dazzle towards the backside of that fight.
Drow was actually able to right-click people in that fight, and that's the big difference in between winning and losing a fight.
Yep, absolutely. She is their big damage dealer, and well, they're almost leading farmer. Wow, this Invoker is still a very impressive farm. He will move into a BKB. There it is, just delivered. So that will help Dityara out quite a bit.
And Lycan's actually really slowed down on his item progression. I expected him to have an Abyssal by now, but looks like they've all been concentrating on 5-minning around, still not wanting to get picked off by these Scythes of Vice.
Yeah, I was thinking Lycan might have like a Basher hiding on the Courier, but no, he's just been kind of struggling a little bit. Still 6-2 and 14.
And the push continues from Power Rangers in the side lanes. Drow Ranger Illusions making their way to that ranged barracks, and this is where the late game precision aura also comes into play.
Yeah. That agility gain makes a big difference. Drow level 21, hitting very hard.
So now Power Rangers, they need to not let HR get the Roshan advantage. Although they did a good job of mitigating that advantage by waiting out the Aegis. They can't always rely on that, and ideally they would like to have that in their own hands. And we will see Visage Familiars trying to split push top and mitigate this super melee creep advantage that they have.
The cheese was also eaten in that last fight from HR, so something else Power Rangers won't have to deal with coming up in this next engagement. Looks like they want to be the aggressors yet again. They'll group up in the bottom lane, all 5 of them. Skyrath a little far behind, but on his way. Does the Radiant have a gem at the moment? They do. Afa Ninja still carrying one, so Dit Yara will need to be careful as he is ghost walked up.
Still a smart fight to take. They have the Observer Ward set up. It will see goddamn, but no one else will push up and venture that far, especially not with the Lycan Wolves out there. But they're actually heading to the Roche pit, and still they don't really have any good eyes on them. Gorek's out on his lonesome.
Oh, the orb over from Puck. They set the trap in the tree line, trying to spring it onto HR, but they're just a little too far away.
So close. He almost got scythed right there. He was half a second away.
I do like that idea from PR, though. Take 2 heroes, put them in the tree line so that the Lycan Wolves can't really scout them out and try to get the jump that way. That is one thing HR have been relying a lot on, is that mobile vision.
And BOT from Drought Ranger, he slit pushes to the top lane, trying to draw them away from the Roshan pit, and this came immediately after Power Rangers killed the Lycan Wolf in the pit.
This is a really smart play here. Roche up in just about half a minute. HR moving all of their forces to the pit.
It coincidentally coincides with Drought Ranger's BOT cooldown, too. So very lucky break for PR. If Roshan respawned right now, it'd be HR's, easily. But it won't.
And they're smoked, scouting it out. Dire, not with as much vision as they'd like. Compliments of that gem from the Storm Spirit. Now HR will TP back too. Arts and Goddamn, they're smoked up, so PR haven't seen it. They don't know that they can't make it to the pit. But Roche now up in just a couple of seconds. It will get scattered out by the orb. Yep, lucky Puck.
And a BOT coming in soon for Drought Ranger, maybe waiting to push the top tower. Unfortunately, she does not have a Manta style. Those were actually illusions before. BOTs picked up by Storm Spirit and Lycan. They can TP onto the Visage Familiars.
They're thinking about it. They have all the vision they could ever need, but they know that Drow Ranger is going to be pressuring that top lane and can cripple a big part of their base. BOTs, not going to happen. This will be Roche going to Power Rangers. Aegis picked up by the Invoker, and Cheese will go to the Dazzle for now. PR showing their late game prowess here by splitting the map and putting HR in a very tough position. Do we defend the base? Do we take Roche? And they kind of get caught in the middle ground and don't really do either. Well, they defend, but can't punish the Drow for doing the split pushing.
But now they can initiate onto a Drow Ranger. They go in with a Scythe of Vice on Storm Spirit. They BOT in while she's split pushing, and then they kill her. And I don't think she has enough survivability to BKB TP away from that. And she certainly cannot run away from a Storm and a Lycan. And I think to counter to this, she can kind of get a Manta style and push with their illusions safely, or just play very cautiously and be cognizant of the fact that they do have BOTs. But I don't actually think that HR has showed them. There's one on Afa Ninja showed right now, and one on Lycan showed too. So now they are aware, but still the potential for the BOT pickoffs are there.
Third Scythe now for the Hellraisers. Gorek on the Dark Seer picks it up, and that is a lot of crowd control. 5 Scythes in this match so far. Maybe even more. What does the Drow Ranger grab next, though? You're talking about Manta, still hanging on to those treads. Does have 5,500 gold. Does have the S&Y, which he can disassemble. What do you think is the late game itemizing, or proper late game itemization for Drow Ranger here, though?
She can either go more damage for Daedalus, or she can go into a Manta for split push. I think those are the 2 items that you're really looking for.
Over here.
I'm trying to think of any other options that are good.
Storm goes on to Dazzle down in the bottom lane. And we'll turn him into a piggy, but Dazzle holding his own pretty well. We'll have a grave here. Or Willie gets hexed now by Darkseer. Gorek showing his off, and that secures the kill. Not quite ready for the double pig. Cheshire Cat will disjoint the magic missile, and well, just be a quick pickoff on the Dazzle. He did buy back, so slightly longer death timer there, but not the end of the world.
What else can Drow Ranger go? I think Daedalus or Manta is best for her. MKB is not very useful because they don't have any evasion. Also, they have a lot of BKB, so that Mini-Sun not terribly effective. What other items are there? AC has already been picked up on their team. Scotty is also another option. Again, Scotty's just not that great versus a Storm and a Lycan, though. the movement speed is not very effective. Satanic's also an option if she can just stand there and leech and trade out a Mask of Madness for it. So
the Satanic's an interesting thought.
Satanic
also gives her a little bit of extra HP, helps that buffer a little bit.
But you can still get Scotty for the stats, though. I don't think that it's a bad item here. It's just not as great as it normally would be. So she has quite a few options available to her.
Okay, we'll see where she goes. Things getting a little bit more passive as we're transitioning into the late game here. Soon to roll over that hour mark.
So she bought a Demon Edge. So it looks like Daedalus, MKB, or Rapier.
Could it be the Rapier? Is this game in Rapier territory for PR, do you think?
I think they have pretty good control right now. It's not a risk that they need to take. But she doesn't have Aegis.
Yeah.
It's still risky.
It'll be a long time before she gets another one.
They haven't gotten a swap on from Venge. I actually think they might need a blink on her so she can actually position herself in to get blink. Because if she's up there with her team, she gets initiated on by Puck. But if she's way far back, Puck isn't willing to really go in on like a Visage plus Darkseer. He really wants to get Lycan, Storm Spirit plus a Vengeful Spirit.
All right, PR making movements in the bottom quadrant of the map, the only lane where there's a tier 3 still standing for HR. The creeps moving into their base, not hard for them to defend, but will become a lot more difficult if this tier 3 tower falls and Dro has a little bit of personal time with their structures. Puck, invisible, looking around, and PR just easily repelled, trying to keep the lanes pushed in.
PR's top and mid lanes will always be pushing out. Because they have the melee Rex advantage. On top of that, they have the precision aura advantage. So all they need to do is push out bottom lane, which is quite an easy task for PR. And
They
HR can't really approach that base. Not only can they not approach the base, they can't approach Roshan, really.
Yeah. Yeah, HR are a little more limited on where they can go around this map. Daedalus now completed on the Dro Ranger, and buybacks. How are we looking on this status? Of course, not on cooldown, and well, just the 4 supports that don't have the spare cash to have a second life back in this game. So it would seem that both teams thinking about waiting out for the other to make a misplay. Maybe the next Roche will be what these teams have their sights set on, but the Aegis from the previous Roche just about to expire.
Cat. He finds a high ground ward.
Appa Ninja comes in, turns into a piggy. Will the support be there to actually secure this kill? Lycan channels up the ultimate, goes into the wolf form, but here's the tornado. Deafening Blast flies through also, but Lycan's BKB'd, and he'll be okay. That's all they needed to create the space for the Puck, and Cheshire Cat will stay living.
On top of that, they killed the ward. HR had this high ground ward to try and pick off split pushers, but that is not an option anymore.
Good work from the Puck, using that gem. So some more split pushing. Shotchlow's in the bottom lane, 30 seconds on his TP with the Boots of Travel.
He's pretty much using precision aura on cooldown too.
Dark light.
To push out lanes, because it's all about the lane equilibrium right now. Roshan, Aegis already expired, will respawn in a few minutes, but HRs are confined to their corner of the map. And even with the BOTs, they simply don't have enough mobility or enough split push to get those lanes out.
Here I am.
And that was PR's game. Just because it shifted away from that 5-man where HR was so dominant. And PR has taken a completely different approach, and HR still have yet to pick anyone off. Aside from Dazzle, but that's just a Dazzle kill.
Yeah, no, it's... Yep.
Apparently he's somewhat important, though, because he has the cheese.
Is it more of a slot issue than anything else? That's usually what it comes down to. It seems like it's either him or J4, so pick your poison. Now, the Invoker, he's picked up a Demon Edge. So, is he going the Chrysalis route here? I can't imagine he would be the one to pick up a Rapier of all heroes.
I think Daedalus as well. Daedalus is the best versus the BKBs.
Yeah, just get that burst damage coming in. All right, and more BOTs coming out. Now 3 apiece. The 3 cores on each side, all with the ability to teleport around the map. This is that late game where things get interesting.
They're looking for J4 or for Gorek. Oh, they were pretty darn close to finding him.
He's going to come back. Yara scouts him out. Hex right away, Alacrity. There's the cold snap, laying in the auto attacks, but Gorek's okay. Compliments of his force staff. Oof.
And Visage Familiar's trying to push out this top lane, doing an okay job, but forced to use the stone form already, and now the creeps will be knocking onto that very fragile range barracks.
Yeah, they've got a Cardi in the back here, but Gorek will come in with plenty of time to clear it up.
Yep, Precision Aura used again on cooldown, so Shashlo with the right idea here. Keep the lanes pushed in. Don't let HR make any moves outside of their base, and just wait for Roshan to respawn. Maybe they can make a play off that, although everyone is pretty slot limited right now aside from those two supports.
Yep. Roche, we'll see what that timer looks like soon. That's the 4th set of BOTs now on Power Rangers as Seneko grabs one. BOTs into the Lycan Wolf. They've scouted out the Dazzle, and they're thinking about having a go, but nope. Lycan does cancel it as they see the invisibility rune that the Shadow Priest lucks into. Another long Roche respawn, about 2.5 minutes. Not really what either team had in mind, I would guess.
Now Storm Spirit forced to build some armor. Now that his BKB duration is so low, he is inevitably going to be tanking some right clicks from PR, especially with the Invoker going a battle build.
Yep, and whoa, there's the Manta on the Dro Ranger. So dumps the SNY and upgrades it to the Manta. So now he can have some fun with those illusions, and with that we'll just head to the bottom lane for more split pushing.
It's all about just getting damage on these buildings. They already sniped the mid-range barracks.
Yep.
Just due to the creeps pushing out, and the top range barracks is very, very low. So all they need to do is, dump a little bit more illusions, keep up the split push pressure, threaten them a little bit more with the...
shot slow. BOTs into the Wolves. They're going to drop the Dro Ranger. Oh my. That is the power of BOTs plus Lycan in the late game right there, Merlini.
Yep.
They make it look easy. Just bring her down.
PR has been very, very careful up until that point, though, and now with Drow Ranger 90 seconds left on her spawn timer, it looks like she isn't going to respawn in time to defend this Roshan. And Dityara trying to put pressure on this left side, and they don't have precision armor. That's actually a pretty big deal, too.
Yeah, it adds so much to their ability just to fight and right-click. Now, there is a wolf in the Roche pit. So HR should see it right as it comes up. Dro will have a 15-second window, and that's going to be too much to try and contest Roche if HR go for it right away.
Power Rangers have a gem, but they only have one gem. And they've been so split up around the map trying to push HR's base that they can't keep tabs on all the Lycan Wolves.
Yeah, it's tricky. Dityara solo pushing here in the top lane. Throwing in tornadoes and meatballs,
but he draws them away from the Roshan pit.
But
this will buy time for him to respawn.
More BOT action. They're going to BOT into the Forge Spirits. They're going to turn it around on the Appa Ninja. Now Dread TPs into the Lycan Wolf. BKB used by the Storm, as well as Dityara's Cheshire Cat. Maybe the first to go down. Gets off a phase shift. Now the wall of Replica comes out. Storm goes down first, commits suicide, but they get the kill on the Invoker as well as the Puck. It's HR coming out way ahead here. 2 big kills right before the Roshan respawn. It's like BOT wars here, Merlini. I mean, that really was. That was like summons on summons. It's like, okay, who can get their army here first? Oh. Like, reminds me of the days of Warcraft 3 when you could TP scroll your entire army.
Lycan eyeing the Roshan pit. It has respawned. It has been almost 3 minutes. Both teams now know that it's up. No Storm. Does Storm have buyback? I mean, he doesn't really want to buy back. It's only 30 seconds left. He does have buyback, though.
He does have it. Puck does as well. So we're in this kind of strange 4v4. They've already used 1 buyback on the Invoker. He still has 3,400 gold to play around with. I guess the question is, with these 2 heroes dead and Roche up, what's... Do you think Puck should buy back here? That's sort of what I'm getting at, I suppose. It's like, if Puck buys back, then PR have 5-on-4 for Roche. HR almost have to buy back on the Storm Spirit.
I think the Storm Spirit is a much more important hero than the Puck. So I think if Storm Spirit buys back, then Puck buys back, but not vice versa.
Not the other way around?
Because Drow and Invoker, I think they can actually own this Lycan, pending not a good vacuum wall from Darkseer. So Darkseer actually has a pretty... I mean, all the heroes are important here. Defensive swaps, or even just swapping Drow into Lycan range, or finding her without her BKB, and she gets hexed by Visage, and then she gets focused down, or... I mean, the big vacuum wall could just end this fight, even 4-on-4.
Yeah, and this is like that late game where Darkseer, one of your great cores to just give them a taste of their own medicine.
20 minutes ago, I thought...
Yeah.
20 minutes ago, I thought it was going to be HR just owning them, but PR with the cheeky plays, and I don't actually know who has a 5-on-5 advantage now. I still think it's slightly HR, but I mean PR has just been doing such a great job of avoiding those kind of engages.
Yeah, I think the 5v5 really comes down to the positioning. If they're in a tight net area and Darkseer can just wall of replica, make it rain, PR is in trouble. If they're in an open area where they can kind of dodge the wall, things get a lot easier. J4 blocked in from the invisible wolf. Now the BOTs come. He knows the jig is up and they're coming for him. They've got his number. Somebody call the doctor as the Birdman, well, gets taken out.
Now they BOT onto the wolf into the pit, and Alpha Ninja's with his Bloodstone, his respawn timer is less than Puck's, and that's a very sizable window for them to fight. 40 seconds without the puck.
And no buyback on the Skyraft right now. So they'll get another Aegis cheese. Storm picks up the Aegis this go around. And an MKB up on the Lycan. They won't try to force the issue even though the Skyrath is dead. But another victory here for HR. This graph has been all over the place. And they're now about 10,000 gold, 10,000 experience in the lead. But none of that matters. 68 minutes in. It is all about positioning, Merlini.
And buybacks. Dityara is the only hero in the game that has used his buyback and is on cooldown, and he's actually pushing up pretty far and pretty dangerously. Both teams have this very high observer ward up here, and has Power Rangers picked up another gem? They actually have not, which is a pretty big deal, because the Wolves could end the game. Oh no.
BOT Wars up top. Shotchlow gets caught out. The Lycan Wolves making it happen again.
But look at those racks.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Not enough damage.
Yeah, tickles it a little bit. It was at like 520, now down to 400.
Buyback Precision Aura. It's out. It was actually on cooldown.
Wow. The Lycan Wolves, man. BOT's just...
Lycan Wolves win games.
It's really powerful. And they have the birds on top of that. So many summons, so many different options to move around the map. That global presence. So you used to see that Tinker Beastmaster strategy, which is basically this, except just for one hero.
Oh my goodness, Zyori almost got caught out, and there are Lycan Wolves around. He is so lucky that Storm didn't jump on that.
Uh-oh. They know he's around. They're going to try to sandwich him. Who's got the gem on the Radiant side? It is Dread.
If he didn't BOT, he would have actually caught him. That's the funny part.
All right. Zyori gets a saving grace. Ninja, they're still in hot pursuit. Did they pass him the gem? They did not. Now Ninja gets hexed. Silenced. The team is here, though. Remember, he has the Aegis. Coil on 4. Well, Coil on 3. Darkseer didn't get caught in it, but that's a nice little vacuum. Dazzle manages to get off the grave, but will it actually keep him alive? Yeah, looks like it will. Oh boy, this is looking bad, Merlini. Pie back on the puck. Wait. And Seneko, he's on the run.
Wow, Drought bought back with like 10 seconds left on her respawn. Oh no.
This is really starting to look bad for PR. Buyback on the puck and the Dro. HR don't even commit much for that. They do have to throw away the Aegis, but well worth it.
And Power Rangers, no buyback on Puck, Invoker, and Drow Ranger.
They're going to go straight for the win. Forget about the barracks. Glyph is available on the Dire side. No Skyrath. It's a 5v4. Gorak just BKB. Shivas trying to zone them out into the well. HR moments from securing themselves a spot in the grand finals. A double kill comes out as they dive forward. Buyback from the Dazzle. Tier 4s have now been cleaned up. And
it's an HR victory!
Yep, or, well, they're trying to split push, but no, not happening. Wow, what an interesting series. Super back and forth, but 75-minute game at the end. GGs are called, and HR now going to have a one-game advantage moving into the grand final best of 5. And PR, they'll be facing the winner of El Clasico coming up next.
Amazing resilience shown from both teams. Racks down, 2 racks down, doesn't matter. Both of these teams fight with all their hearts, and very smart play too. I mean, the Lycan Wolves, the BOTs, the split push play from PR, the counter initiate with the blink in on the puck. So many nice plays this games, and I mean, it's really nice to see all the strats develop inside a game too.
Yeah.
It evolved so much. It was like drought push, and then the Venge swap to counter the drought push, and then the split push to counter the 5-man. It was really a sight to see. Yeah,
you don't draft that expecting to get 4 sets of BOTs and teleport around the map with Lycan Wolves, but at the end of the game, that was the way to win it. So, all right, well fought. We've got one more best of 3 coming up, guys. Na'Vi versus Alliance. It was scheduled to start like 90 minutes ago, so we're going to have a quick break. I'm sure the players are in the lobby ready to rock and roll. Thank you for joining us. Stick around, because more Dota 2 action coming your way here on Beyond the Summit.